Hi everyone, welcome to Books Mandala's YouTube channel. In this channel, we talk about anything and everything related to books. In today's video, I have one of my favorite books, and I think this is a favorite of a lot of readers everywhere, and that is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. And this is a historical fiction book set in Nazi occupant Germany, and it is so good. This book is written in a very beautiful way. It will destroy you. When I first read this book, and when I first read the last few pages of the book, last 100 pages or so of the book, I was sobbing. I was crying like no tomorrow. And this book is not that big. It is big, but it is worth all of your time. So this book has one of the best writings I've ever read. The narrator of this book is Death. So yes, Death is the narrator of this book, and he introduces himself as the narrator of the novel in the very first chapter. And the narrator narrates this book, and he tells the story of the book thief. So the main protagonist of the book, narrated by the book thief, is Liesel Meminger, and she is the book thief. In the very first chapter of the book, there is this thing. It says, "Here's a small fact, you are going to die." And that literally describes how the novel proceeds and what the story will look like after you start reading it. The first time Death sees the book thief, aka Liesel, is when she's on the train with her mother, and she's going to live with the Hans. The Hans are gonna be her new foster parents because Liesel's mother cannot take care of Liesel anymore, and Liesel's brother also died recently, and Liesel is really haunted by her brother's death. She sees her brother everywhere, and if she dreams about her brother. Death begins the story about Liesel and her mother and her brother, and in the train, Liesel's brother suddenly dies, and ever since Liesel's brother's death, Liesel has been haunted by it. And so when Liesel and her mother get off the train to bury the body of Liesel's brother, Liesel steals a book from one of the gravediggers, and the book is the Gravedigger'S Handbook. And this book is really significant for Liesel, and it is also very significant for Liesel's character arc, how she starts to steal more books and how she is so attached to books. Even though she cannot buy new books, she has to have new books, and how books make her happy. I think we can all agree with Liesel as readers when it comes to books bringing us happiness. So after burying Liesel's brother Werner, Liesel and her mother continue their journey to a town called Mulching, and in this town, Liesel meets her foster parents, Hans and Rosa. So Hans is a very lovable man. At first, Liesel is very skeptical about her foster parents, Hans and Rosa, but later she grows attached with them because Hans plays his I don't know what you call that. Hans plays this instrument, and Liesel is very fascinated by it, and Hans also teaches Liesel to roll cigarettes for him, and there's this whole father-daughter bond between Liesel and Hans. And at first, Rosa is very indifferent and very rude kind of towards Liesel, but then she grows more accustomed to Liesel. Like, Rosa's personality is like so complex. She is so unique, and she curses in German, and that is really cool. When I read the book, I'd memorized some curses in German too, just for the sake of memorizing some curses in German. Like I have previously mentioned, the book is set in 1939, aka Nazi occupant Germany, and Death has never been busier. If you forgot, Death is the narrator of this book, and he tells how he has to carry the souls of so many people because so many people are dying, and every day Death Beth's work is increasing by tenfold. Slowly, Liesel adjusts to her new life with her foster parents. Although Liesel is still plagued by the death of her brother and the nightmares that it brings with, she slowly starts to adjust to her new life with her foster parents, and she meets this boy named Rudy, and they play football in the streets, and it is really fun to read. Rudy teases Liesel a lot, and Liesel is really good at football, and Rudy is also good at football, and Liesel does goalkeeping sometimes, and it's really fun to see how children are adjusting to life during war, and how children are living their life when a country is stricken with war. One day, Hans, the foster father, discovers that Liesel does not know how to read, and he starts teaching Liesel reading and writing, and he begins teaching every night, and Liesel is always so excited to read the book that she stole in the first few chapters of the book, the Gravedigger'S Handbook, and she starts reading this book, and she slowly makes progress. And like most of us readers, Liesel loves the alphabet, she loves the letters, she loves reading. At the same time, Germany's condition is getting worse, the war is getting serious, and there is lack of food, there is starvation, and there is shortage of work. Rosa, who is Liesel's foster mother, had this work of doing laundry for this rich family, and she also loses her job because of the money shortage and the work shortage. And one day the town holds this book burning thing. In this thing, every single book in the town is burnt. Painful. Yes, it was painful to read as well. There's this book burning thing to celebrate Hitler's birthday, and in this specific book burning event, Liesel steals another book, and that's where she gets her name. She steals a lot of books, so she is the book thief. The main plot of the story is Liesel and her family hiding a Jew in their basement. So as you are probably aware, the Jews were killed and sent to concentration camps, and they were held in concentration camps and stuff like that during the World War II. And Liesel and her parents, they hide this Jew in their basement, and if they are found out with a Jew hiding in their basement, they will be instantly executed. They will be beaten, worse than beaten. So this book is a slow burn book. So I read this somewhere, somebody wrote this. It basically says it is like the whole book was a slow burn prologue building up to the swelling, almost terrifying, beautiful ending. And this book is so complex, so raw, tragic, absolutely heartbreaking, and the writing is so beautiful. I felt like tabbing every single page and writing all the quotes down in a notebook. And Death sure has a unique outlook to the world, colors, people, and even death itself. You're missing out on a whole new level of heartbreak and tears, like sobbing. If you cried while reading It Ends With Us, you will cry Niagara Falls while reading this book. It is like 10 times sadder. Personally, it was 10 times sadder. I cannot speak for everyone when it comes to what makes them sad, but this book, I think everyone who's read this book has cried while reading this book. If you haven't, lastly, if you're watching this video and you made it so far, you should definitely read this book. This is your sign. This is your God-given sign to read this book right now. Instantly pick it up,